Real men are not liberal. Let's talk about it. In one of my last videos I said that real men are not liberal. Just the fact that that exact statement in that video that I made got so much attention, it just shows that there's some truth to that statement. Obviously, parties do not define whether you're a real man or not, but the party that you affiliate with says a lot about your character and what kind of man you are. Real men lean more traditional because masculinity lies in its original truth, which is purpose and family. And mainstream society hates to hear that, but that is the truth. Conservatism leans more towards hard work and accountability and discipline. A man's man is going to lean more towards traditional values, which conservative parties lean more towards respecting those values. Every party affiliates with different morals and values. Left and right values and morals are completely different and are focused on complete different things. An exact political party doesn't mean that you're a real man, but affiliating and contributing to a specific political party 100% determines what kind of man you are. Real men lean more towards conservative values because those conservative morals and values contribute more towards a man being in his healthy masculinity and contributing to the actual family more so than the liberal morals and values do.
So I'm gonna come to Molly. Women are having a little bit of a debate, right? And I didn't play the other video that I had. I don't think it's necessary. Some women are saying, "Oh my God, I can't find a liberal man, a guy that aligns with me from a political party. Where's all of the liberal men at, right? A liberal men that want to really get into a relationship with a woman." And then on the flip side, you got women like her that's basically saying, liberal men basically aren't real men, right? We don't want them. What do you think about this whole conversation about women saying that they can't find a man that aligns with them politically? And then the other side of the conversation where women are saying liberal men aren't really real men.
As far as liberal men not being, I'm not gonna say real men. I don't want to say that, but not as masculine as conservative men. I do think that that's true because especially when we were going through the whole Kamala versus Trump political thing before the elections, sorry, before the elections took place on the Q show, we would see like a lot of the ideologies from the more liberal minded men. And it's not, if you're a woman who wants somebody to lead, a liberal man is not. It's just not, he's not it. I feel like liberal men serve too many masters compared to more conservative leaning men because they are more traditional. They do like the more traditional roles in households and relationship dynamics. And as far as liberal women looking for liberal men, I feel like I don't know how they're not finding them because they're out here. They need to go find them a black man. They're definitely out here. So
I think that
I don't know about
most black men are more liberal.
for sure. Yes, yes. The worst thing you could be is a black man is a conservative black man.
Mm.
You're gonna be a bootlicker, you're gonna be a coon, you're gonna be everything, you're gonna be a sellout. You have to be liberal. So if that's what they're looking for, they definitely need to go and find them the average 80% of black men. They out there. And they
That's
love them
you.
some
You can't
liberal white women for sure.
you can't say average and then say 80%.
Above average. So that's
Gary,
crazy. They be on dating apps. I don't know how they're not finding these men.
Carrie, what are your thoughts?
Um, I think that it would be difficult to find um, the type of a man that you would really want. And I hate that I'm generalizing this, but I think it would be difficult to find the kind of man that you would probably really want in a true liberal man. Primarily because I think what we define as liberal today points heavily in the direction of things having to do with gender, sexuality, um, things that technically should go against your moral compass. And I think that a more traditional masculine man has more traditional, very defined values. So even if they accept people, they're not afraid to say that they don't agree with that, agree with it. And I think that there are a lot of men who are not willing to say, I disagree with this. I disagree with what liberal represents. And to me, that's yielding. That's yielding on some of the very things that would make up what would make, in my opinion, a man. I don't want to say, like Molly said, I don't want to say not a real man, but a foundationally strong man. So
you wouldn't want to be in a relationship with a man that's liberal, basically.
not by today's standards of what I think liberal is. No. Because I'm thinking, and I try to not get caught up in Democrat versus Republican, because a lot of the strong men that I had as mentors growing up were Democrats, but they were traditional. Like, they were definitely traditional. So I got to say that, and I don't even know if they would have described themselves as liberal back in the day. So yeah, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't want to.
Mika?
I think men can only be conservative or feminist. That's it. I don't think that you can't be masculine and be liberal. That it to me it doesn't work out the same. It doesn't work out in the same area, because you would have to go against what would be what men are supposed to be naturally, right? You're supposed to naturally be leaders. If you're following a group of women, or saying, okay, women can lead too, so naturally you're going to fall back and fall into your femininity, then no, that you can only be conservative and be masculine, or you're going to be a feminist, because otherwise everything you're talking about goes against what you're supposed to be as a man. Like, I don't see it any other way.
Kim?
I don't agree with that. I just don't like to box
I like
people.
your shirt, Kim.
Thank you.
Polo is timeless.
I like the way the shirt is on her. But go ahead.
So I don't. I don't like to box people in that way. So, and I just don't think that your masculinity and your, like, I don't think your stance, whether you're liberal or conservative, is indicative of your masculinity. I can see where the chick in the video was going with that, and that makes sense. But I still think that you can have masculine liberals. I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
But Kim is she's like me. She's like a words matter, and like liberal just mean you're open minded.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It says generally refers to the political philosophy that emphasizes individual rights and freedoms. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're not masculine. To me.
Okay.
Do you think a man? Do you think a man?
You can
Do you
only
think a
be,
man that'll
that's why
support?
I said you can only be conservative or feminist, because what would be considered a quote unquote liberal right now is just feminist ideology. There's nothing over there that says masculine, like absolutely nothing.
Well,
if you're gonna say you are for abortions, okay, that's an issue. That's an issue as a man, as a human being. But if you're for women doing all of the leadership roles, that tells me a lot about you there. Because why are you following me? You need to have the plan. Why am I coming up with it? That makes absolutely no sense to me. And most of those households are the reason why you have the high divorce rate. Like it's usually liberal households with these high divorce rates. Well, she can do what she wants, so since she can do what she wants, she's divorcing you, she's taking your money, all this stuff. Like there's nothing over there in the liberal sector that screams masculine to me, that screams I have control, that I'm making the decisions. Because what I'm trying to figure out, what politician can you point to that screams masculine on a liberal side?
I understand what you're saying, right? I'm not negating anything that you're saying. I'm just saying I just feel like you can be both. You can be masculine and you can be liberal. I'm not here to put a label on somebody's masculinity.
But that's like saying that then the then the whole argument that we have about femininity. Because if masculinity is fluid like that, then so is femininity. And I don't think
Well,
that's
masculine
fluid
is
like that.
not fluid.
I'm sorry?
The masculinity is not fluid.
It's assertive.
Which is my point. So but
assertive,
you're saying that it can be
leadership.
something else, and I'm saying that I don't think you can actually have all of those qualities that quote unquote liberals now today say that they have with what they support, what they're about, their agenda, and be masculine. Because there's nothing in that that states masculinity. If a man comes up to me and tell me I'm for abortion rights,
Mhm. You gonna let me wear the pants around this mug, and I'm gonna tell you what to
so
do.
I don't
I'm
know
gonna tell you
though,
go wash
dog.
them dishes.
There's a lot
What?
of guys that be like, "Hey, you need to get rid of that
Go
baby."
get rid of that baby. What the fuck? You that masculine as fuck that kid. What you talking about?
Exactly.
There's a
Exactly.
lot of guys that are.
Guess what? Killing is masculine. They're killing babies. What's not masculine about a baby
No, no, no,
being?
no,
You got
no, no, no,
some
no.
guys
Don't say
will
that. Don't say
abandon
that.
that
Don't say that.
part
Killing
of
is not
being a
masculine.
conservative.
Killing
Some
is not
guys.
masculine.
Being
Killing is
conservative.
not masculine. It's
But if
immoral.
you had to put it somewhere on masculine
It's
and feminine,
immoral. It's
you put
not
it on
Yeah, you
masculine.
gonna put it on masculine side.
No, it's not masculine. It's immoral. Killing
not
is not. It's not masculine. There's no masculine or feminine that comes with killing someone. That's not
Yes,
true.
if you're taking up for
That's
your
I
family
not
and you
think
kill
that
true.
someone in
That
the
is
process,
not
that's
true.
masculine.
That
You
is
kill someone in
not
the
I think
process
true.
of taking up for your
That is
family,
not
that's
true.
masculine.
you're
Okay.
That is
talking
I
not
just
about
think that
true.
offspring though, Quentin. That's
liberals these
different.
days
That is
leave
not
more
true.
space, for indecisiveness, for like, it's whatever. You can do what you want to do. And I just think of a traditional man as very decisive. Even if you disagree,
Hmm.
it's like, this is what I believe, this is what it is. That, like, so to me, regardless of if we pick and choose the topic, even with the whole abortion thing, some people, it's not that they're pro-choice, I mean they're pro-life, but they're like, whatever, it's your choice, whatever you want to do. So it's like, it's whatever. I think that more traditional men are just,
they're going to lead. They're going to
They
tell
So
you
are.
so
what
wait.
it is.
So it's so people who are considered liberal also are people who don't believe in war. You know, it's some guys
Not
they just don't.
necessarily.
somebody said I'm
Can I
conflating.
can I
Wasn't she,
finish?
did
Can
she
I
mention
finish speaking?
traditional or
Can I
necessarily.
masculine?
finish
I
speaking?
thought she said
I'm
traditional.
sorry, Slimmy.
Can I finish speaking?
I see these liberals warmongering like a mug. I'm sorry, but okay.
Well, you cut me off
That's
when I
why
was
you can't put
talking,
everybody
Slim. You wouldn't let me get my shit off, my nigga.
I wasn't on purpose.
Oh, I'm sorry, I added on to the cutoff. Sorry, Slimmy.
Yep. Y'all
in.
3 for 3 in this bitch.
All I was saying was that some people who feel like liberals are people who just don't promote war, right? It's not necessarily dudes who aren't masculine. That's all I was gonna say.
See, and that, and I that's why I was trying to specify the way that I look at liberal in today's day. I believe that just the word in and of itself has a different meaning now than back in 1970 or 19 whatever, when maybe it was more so focused on one particular aspect like war. Now, like I said, I really think that when you think liberal, I mean, okay, when you think liberal, what's the first topic that comes to you guys' minds?
Gay.
It's
Liberal as a noun and adjective, like what are we talking about? Because it's pretty much across the board been the same since the dictionary.
No, it hasn't been the same. No, it
So
has not.
the definition of liberal has changed, is what you're telling me.
I
Like
believe
there's
that
different forms.
the
Like if you want to say there's different forms and pick one, then I get that. But
but that's why I'm asking you. So if somebody tells you I'm a liberal person, what do you think their views like? What comes to mind for you?
like they're flighty, their temperament is like open-mindedness. They're like they're spacey, they're all over the place type of thing.
Okay, so that's even more so. So even if a certain topic does not come up, like gender or war, you're not proving my point, but you're kind of saying what I'm saying, which is you're kind of like, I'm open to whatever, it's whatever. And when I think of a man's, somebody said I'm conflating the point of traditional versus masculine. I thought she said traditional. When I think of a traditional man, I don't think of somebody who's flighty and just like open to whatever. I think of somebody who is very boom, boom, boom. Like, and you might not like what he stands for, but you know what he stands for. I feel like liberals today, you don't know what they stand for. They're just like, I'm open to whatever you want to do.
So are you not a man because you're not traditional?
No, that's why I asked what I thought she equated real man to traditional to conservative, but somebody said that I'm conflating masculine. Did she mention traditional? Wasn't she talking about? Oh, my bad. I thought that we were talking about traditional conservative.
Well, it has to come up, and then traditional is the opposite of liberal.
Yeah, but what man is okay with feminism? Like, what man is okay with that? If you tell me that you're okay with that, there's absolutely no way that I can respect you.
But let's say he's not okay with that. Just like you can be okay with, let's say, abortion and not gays, right? But you would still be considered a liberal, even though you're not in agreement with all of those things together.
I don't. If you're okay with abortion, that's also an issue, because if you're a conservative, I see you having family values, which means you need to have discipline with what you're doing in sex, because those would come from, you would have a value-based system as a man. So usually anybody that just slings anything anywhere, gets anybody pregnant, all the, like, to me, that's not very masculine, because you have no discipline. You actually don't know how to carry yourself. So I won't respect that. Like, as a human being, yes, but as somebody that I would consider, or other women would consider, why would they respect somebody that doesn't have, a man that doesn't have control over himself? How are you going to have control over me? How are you going to have dominance over your family? How are you going to be able to do certain things if you can't control your own genitalia, your own life? Like, just all that I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over there. I can't get with it.
Right. You can't, but we always put masculinity on spreading your seed, on not being sexually disciplined. And that's why when women are out there being hoes, you're like, oh, she's being masculine. She thinks she's a man. She thinks she can do what men do. So that's not the same.
It's a masculine trait, but it's not being a man, right? So because women have women, like, so when men have a time where they can be nurturing, right? That's a feminine trait, but that's not them, like, in their natural state. So what I'm saying is, as a man, I don't see the liberalism being masculine. There's nothing about somebody, a woman being your leader, that's masculine to me. Like, I've never seen women really respect men that they lord over. I've never seen it.
Well, I don't believe that most countries should be going to war. That might be considered liberal. You think a woman is going to walk all over me?
Repeat
Yeah,
that.
but even that is. Oh, go ahead.
Like I'm saying, I don't feel like countries should be going to war, but I don't believe in abortions. I don't believe in the homosexual whatever that stuff
But
is.
war is as
But
old as time, Slimmy. That's just a part of.
It shouldn't be I know it's political, but I mean,
Here's my biggest thing about women wanting traditional men. I believe that it's problematic. I think it's natural, but it's problematic because when you talk about feminism, when you talk about the evolution of women wanting to choose for themselves, they don't truly want a traditional man. I think that they want a traditional man when it comes to what that type of man represents and how they can provide for them. But they don't really want to subject themselves to that version of a man that's truly traditional. I think they want a hybrid. But the problem also with it is that I think that women that have a modern mentality that want to do for themselves deserve liberal men, but they don't want those type of men. And so they advocating for the thing that they absolutely are against. Because they don't want a man that actually says that women are as equal to them. They don't want a man that says that they want a partner. They don't really want that, but I believe that that's what they deserve because that is the way in which they've advocated. That's the way in which they vote. That's the reason why they advocate against updating family court laws. And so when you really look at it, I don't think that women truly are looking for real traditional men. I think that women are looking for traditional men to save them. I think it's a completely different conversation that we having right now.
I
And
think it's
so
not too many women being raised by traditional men. I think it's a lot of women with very liberal feminist fathers, and it kind of goes under the radar. I'm just being honest. I know
I
a
agree
lot of
with
women who have more liberal-minded feminist fathers who encourage them to do things that wasn't in their best interest, but because it was empowering, he kind of
But the
enabled it.
like
question,
I'll give you an example.
Oh, sorry.
Um like I love my people in my household, but they don't really have a choice. It's like you can't vote differently than I vote.
if you're liberal, you can.
No, you can't.
You can
Like
stroll to
that,
the
that's
polls with them.
literally you going against my judgment. Are you telling me that you can have a perspective that's different than mine and be able to sleep in the same bed as me? That's crazy.
I
Now, if you
agree.
just think that I'm busting down for the night, then that's one thing. But if we're actually having a conversation about what the standards are from a real traditional man, why would I ever sit there and be having I got two votes basically. I have two votes. It's not you can vote one way and then I vote one way. I have two votes. So when we talking about real tradition, do you really want to get with a person that removes your choice? Because see, if you get with a traditional guy, that means that you're going to have to 100%, not 90%, not 50%. You're going to have to 100% trust my judgment.
Yeah. And if you had a good daddy, you've seen that already. And that's the problem. A lot of women have never seen a actual traditional good man who actually knows how to lead, because when you do this in corporate America, everybody is not does not have an input.
No,
Somebody is the supervisor. The supervisor takes everybody's reports, makes something comprehensive, and then they come up with a plan from that. It doesn't mean just because the man is the head, it doesn't mean you don't have an input, but he actually does what's best for the family. And why would I have him at the head if I didn't think that this man is best for the
but here's the
family?
other part of it, though. I don't believe that a lot of women even believe some of the things that they are saying. I believe that they are now saying that they want traditional conservative men because they are now looking to not have to pay bills anymore.
That's probably most women. I can agree to that because they've been taught this feminist nonsense. And to be honest, sometimes when I talk to other women, their dads have like Generation X and some of the millennials, their dads are well, make sure you're independent, make sure you're independent instead of interdependence.
Yeah, I think that there's a mistake by some women conflating being a simp with being a traditional man because they will say that traditional men are providers and protectors and all of that. And so what they're conflating is that they think that traditional men they're equating traditional men with men that pay all of the bills and make sure that they provide them with a work or a certain lifestyle. I don't think that that's necessarily the only thing that they should be looking at when they having these conversations. Women are looking, in a sense, some of these women that still have a liberal mindset, they are looking for a guy that saves them from themselves when they've advocated for going out and being able to do it themselves. They don't want a 50-50 relationship when it comes to finances, but they want a 50-50 relationship when it comes to having say so of what goes on inside of the household. And so if you want a traditional conservative man, then you got to get it all the way on the other side. They don't want the extreme, they want the hybrid. And so when I hear women a lot of times say that they want a conservative or a traditional man, I don't believe them, because I think that they want a version of both. They still want to be heard, they want to say so, but they don't necessarily want to pay bills, and they don't want the responsibility.